Hello, everyone. My name is Alice Bowl, and I am so excited to be with you scrapbooking today. We are going to be create whatever you like. It's just our time for us to hang out together, and I'm going to be showing you what I'm making. I have a fabulous kit of supplies, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a new sponsor for these sessions, so hint, hint, heads up. The ScrapRoom is sponsoring a free kit giveaway for these sessions for Scrapbook Live. They are a new sponsor for our second half of 2020. I love the kits. So just confession, I pay for my own kit. I actually buy the Embellishment Kit as well because it's wonderful. So I'll show you what our winner will get, and then we're gonna start something different. So I run the membership group at ScrapHappy. It's my joy, it's my passion. If you've never heard of us, please check us out at scraphappy.org. Super fun. I'll tell you again at the end. I'll try to remember. If I forget, somebody tell me. But I'm loving playing with these kits from the ScrapRoom, and I'm so excited to bring a sponsor on that makes products that I love so much. I don't know if there's scrapbook products that I don't love so much. Like usually I can find something to do, but these kits just seem to be a really good taste test. So they're called a flavor of the month, and my last month kit did not arrive in time. I'm in Canada, so heads up, like they're trying to deal with international shipping to me and global pandemic stuff. So it hasn't been the greatest for shipping. Totally not their fault. I got the ship notice when it shipped. It was a month. I've never had stuff take a month. That was just, okay, it was what it was. But I did use some of my last kit for a new post that just went up on my YouTube channel. And it is part of a blog hop organized by Sarah Scraps. Yes, Sarah Scraps, that was one of our teachers for the Scrap Smarter experience. She organized this blog hop. She's like, hey, does anybody want to be on the blog hop? And like, everybody's like, yeah. 40 people on this blog hop. It's not a blog hop. It's a YouTube hop. I keep saying blog hop because it's like the term in my head. So YouTube hop. And so she turned it into 4 fun days of back to school inspiration. And if you know me, I don't have little kids anymore. They're all grown up. Actually, my youngest son is leaving the house officially. He's moving out on the 24th. Yes, I'm a little bit getting choked up about it because it's really happening. My other son has moved out already, so life is happening. Like 4 days before his birthday. Really? 4 days before? Could you not just like spent one birthday with mom and then got? No, it's fine. It's fine. So I made a page and I'm so excited about it. If you've seen it, then sorry, I'm going to show you now. So this is the page that I made, and it is back to school. And I consider myself a lifelong learner. And I think that it's super fun. But as you see, this page is a little shy on the journaling. I know, it's like the cutest supplies. This was in my Flavors of the Month kit from last month. This is the Echo Park School Rules collection, except for the title. That was different. But okay, so you see this little floppy piece. Look at how much journaling I have in here. It is wonderful. It is wonderful because I was able to tell all of this stuff. And so I show this, I read the journaling, everything is in the video that is now up on my YouTube channel. So please go and check it out. And then just like hop along to all the different things. Beth says, I love that journaling pullout. I love making pages that are really pretty because I'm so inspired by the things that designers make. And then what happens is they don't always put a lot of words on their pages, and I feel like I don't have space to really tell a full story. Well, this time I made the space so I could tell the full story. I pulled out my typewriter that's over here. not my We Are Memory Keepers one. It's the one that actually works better. And I did my journaling, so I was so happy. There are spelling mistakes, I think. There's definitely, I have a problem with apostrophes. I tried not to do contractions. It's a problem. But anyways, this was the page I made. Please go check it out. I will be sharing some sneak peeks on my Instagram later today. But I have to show you the kit because let's see what I'm going to play with today. It is from the ScrapRoom. It is scrap-room.com. That's how to find it. It's called Flavors of the Month. And so I like it because it's not just like one kind of thing. It is actually like multiple mini kits. So that's like the whole flavors thing. Plus you can opt in to have a little sample coffee pack added that was just kind of like a little bonus. So you can be drinking your coffee and sampling the flavor. I'm actually sampling last month's flavor because we tried to see if like maybe the coffee was being a hang up with customs or something. So we sent this one with no coffee. It still took a while. It was a little faster. So I guess we'll see. Okay, so let's switch cameras so I can show you. I'm probably gonna have to white balance this sucker again. Let's get this. Okay, not so bad. Okay, so here's my embellishment kit. I'll show you guys after, but you can see there's 4 packs in here. So it's fun, and they're designed around double page layout. So if you are a double page layout person, you're gonna like that they have that in mind. So let's take a look. This first one is from Photoplay, and it is their the New Normal collection. So I have like the full on sticker sheet of stickers. Then I have some really pretty papers. Look at the little masks. Look how cute those masks are. Oh my gosh. I'm like, whether you're mask yes or mask no, and if there's drama over masks, like those masks are cute. So I don't have one of those yet. I'll have to get myself like a cute mask. The cut apart sheet, which is super fun. I love to use them for like a little layering embellishment. And then I have 2 sheets of the black cardstock that match with it. So I've got some great papers. There's 3 patterns. There's the whole sticker sheet and then the 2 sheets. And on top of that one, am I gonna get this to fit back in? Oh, yay, that was easy. Sometimes it's not, you're on camera and fighting with a plastic bag. The next one that I have here, and you can see like they're all kind of like a slightly different build. This one is the Hello Autumn collection, and this feels like Cartabella because it's that textured paper. So all Cartabella. So if you don't know, Cartabella and Echo Park kind of like same companies but separations. So the Cartabella part, it is the textured paper with that real tactile feel to it. And so this is their Hello Autumn collection, which is so pretty. And it is literally autumn here, guys, like the trees. And then there's the 2 sheets for your base. And then I have this lovely letters. Oh, and then there's like a whole pack of little embellishments. So some little die cuts, and there's even some little enamel dots in there. And when they release the kits, they actually make a video that shows you everything that's in there. So I really like that part of it too, that you can kind of see everything that's in there. Okay, so the next part, and then I'm going to show, like, we'll dive into the actual scrapbooking part, but I'm just excited about the kits because it's the first one I kind of got to show off here today. And so this has been fun. The Amy Tangerine late afternoon collection. So you can see the stickers, and they have kind of like this copper foil on them. I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, a little bit there. You can see some of the copper foil. So pretty. And look at these papers. Oh, this is like a fall rainbow paper. Like, she knew exactly what I needed. because I'll say like the fall colors are not like the ones I gravitate to normally, but she made it all better. So that's gonna be lovely. And then the final part, I'm not even gonna put that away. We're just gonna leave that one out for now. The final one, oh my gosh, have you guys seen this collection? This is the Jen Hadfield, the Avenue paper. And if you don't know Jen Hadfield, she designs with pebbles, and her papers, her design style, follow her on Instagram if you love beautiful houses and decor and stuff like that, because she's amazing. So beautiful. Look at the embellishments. So there's like little puffy hearts, there's some little puffy words, and then there's some beautiful die cuts, and you can see like this one even has like gold foil and stuff on it. So pretty. And then we've got pattern paper, some more pattern paper. The gingham, is that gingham? Is it plaid? What is that? What is that called? Gingham? Am I saying the right word? Feel free to correct me. And then 2 sheets of the white. So that's like what is in a flavors of the month. This is the September one, September kit, September 1. It is the September kit. And so if you're like, oh my gosh, I need all the things, you could actually still get these. And I just peeked on their website and it didn't say that it was sold out yet. So that is a thing. And okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna do a quick screen share because I just have to show you. Here we go. So this is their site, the ScrapRoom. And when you go, like you can see like the whole thing that's in the thing. I just have to show you guys. So all of that stuff is in the flavors of the month. Look at this price, $25.95 for all of that stuff. So that's really good. Like they're not expensive, and you can do a lot of different kinds of scrapping with them. And then they have different things. There's a double shot club that has double bonus kit. But then there's also, yeah, let's go down here to the embellishment. So there's other add-ons you can get. And then if you're already shipping it, you can just kind of include this in your thing for the same kind of shipping. So there's the Shots of Life, which is like a pocket page. There's the Embellishment Kit, which I'm going to show you just in a second. Look at this, $12, $12 for the Embellishment Kit. And then there is a pattern paper kit if you want more of the pattern paper, more cardstock. So they have a lot of different add-ons that you can do as well. And I thought, you know, it's very affordable. that I like. Even converting to Canadian dollars and paying for the shipping, I still felt like it was reasonable. Okay, so here in the embellishment kit, you kind of get like something that adds on to each of the kits. So I've got the chipboard for the Hello Autumn, and it's just like, it's a single sheet, but oh, so pretty. Look at that little truck with the little pumpkins in the back. Then there are some thickers, perfect thicker letters. And we've got the social distancing kit, and it has like the little die cuts. So it's a little die cut pack. And then, oh, love it, these lovely golden letters or words. I mean, they're all words. And so it's not the full pack, right? You get like the one sheet, but you know, it's $12 and then you get like a little bit of taste of it. So yeah, that's what's in my kit. That's what I'm gonna play with. And let's see, let's switch here for a second. So yeah, that's what's in my kit. That's what I'm gonna play with. If you are scrapbooking along with me, I would love for you to kind of tell me in the comments here, like what you're working on. Yeah, I know, like people are saying like, wow, oh my gosh, Tara says the September kits are sold out. What? Oh, I was sure that it was still available. I'm sorry. I've been teasing you. I didn't see the card kit when I was looking. Yeah, so the ScrapRoom's card kits and sent it to her friend. She loved it, said Rhonda. Yeah, I'm super big fan now. And like, I'd say the only thing that they need to do is obviously stock more kits. I have some pictures today to scrapbook, and we went to a spring. My parents used to own this land. Now, like, it's their neighbor's land. So we were able to go out to the spring and collect some of the actual spring water. And it was so good. It was a bit of a hike in there. And I packed my cousin's little baby. She's like 2, going on 3, so she's not that little anymore. I'm like, good thing I got that mama hip. And yeah, lots of fun. Let's see, Jen says, I got Echo Park Wizards and Witches paper today and really want to scrapbook a Universal Harry Potter trip. Oh, so fun. However, work first. I have an order for 70 cards that she needs to finish before she gets to play. That's a lot. Oh my gosh. Cheryl's making a birthday card, and I don't make cards, she says, but my daughter needs one ASAP. And Kimberly is setting up her journal for the week. And Margaret's working on embellishments for a monthly swap. Sherry's embossing leaves for a layout. So we have lots of good crafty things happening today. This is awesome. Sherry's reorganizing her craft room. Honey, when you finish there, come on over here. Because I could use a little bit of that. And Tara says she's working on Victoria Marie's challenges from her crop. Okay, like, I was not part of this, but I tell you, I don't think I can miss. When she does her next one, I don't think I can miss it. Like, just amazing. That girl is so full of inspiration. Anyways, let's dig into some actual scrapbooking. And Tara says, join us, join. I know, Victoria is so good. We're beta testing. So we're going to have a little chat, actually. We're beta testing a new membership platform, and it is not Mighty Networks. It is something else that is kind of new to the scene. And so far, I'm quite liking it. But thankfully, Victoria, who is such a sweetheart, allowed me to kind of see how her stuff works so that I could get a better feel for kind of comparing the two systems so I could hopefully make a better choice. I don't think there's like a bad choice. It's just that neither of them is 100% perfect, right? So, you know, it's like, is this one better than that one? Maybe. I don't even know. It's tricky. Ooh, that's just enough that it's not going to bother me too much. When I print my pictures, they don't necessarily leave enough white line in between them, right? But I've cut up my pictures at the spring, super fun, and that's going to be what I'm going with. So I'm really undecided. You can see that the leaves in these pictures are a little starting to change already, but I was thinking that paper from Amy, because I had that other fall one, the Cartabella paper, and I just love touching it so much. But I think this little rainbow with the flowers and all this stuff is just going to be too tempting not to use it. So I think I'm going to play with the Amy Tangerine paper today. So that's going to be good. And then bonus, I've got the thicker, so I'll be able to do my title with that too. So, poor Jessica. She says, I finally figured out how to get this sound on. I'm only 20 minutes late. I showed you my kit, but if you want to have a quick sneak peek, you can pop over to scrap-room.com. Check out their flavors of the month kit. That's what I'm working with. So that is where I'm at right now. And yeah, it's the 12th of the month. They're already sold out. That's amazing. I'm so happy. I'm so happy I got mine. Francis is doing Chamel's Learn Something New Every Day class this September, working on an envelope album to contain it. So fun. Okay, and I am wearing this obnoxiously bright pink sweater. It is like very, very bright in these pictures, and I think I'm just gonna be like okay with that. This kit does have some pink in it. So like in some of the florals, there's some pink. It's not obnoxiously bright like my sweater, but let's just say I will stand out in those pictures. It'll be what it'll be. Jen says, I'm gonna have to look up that Chamel class. That sounds cool, just in concept. So in my kit from the ScrapRoom, they actually have a sketch challenge on that comes in here. And then you also have recipe cards for each of the kits. So one of their designers has actually a scrapbook page, which you can use as inspiration. And then you can go and download those recipe cards. So I think that's pretty cool. And I might use the sketch kind of for starting place inspiration. If you know me, a sketch and my layout kind of look a little bit far apart near the end. It's like, oh, that started from that? I would never have known. But that's okay. I love this floral so much. Okay, so I think what I'll do, Nadine says I'm coming in late to the party, but I won the kit last month and I'm in love with it. That's awesome because they're just, yeah, I'm loving them too. Okay, so we'll switch back. Let's get this. So we get white balance happening there. And let's see. I'm kind of tempted to use this rainbow paper as my background paper instead of the cardstock. I think I'd like that because then I'll get like the full impact, right? I'll get the full impact. I think I went crooked. That's crazy. I did. I don't know what happened there, but let's fix that up. Ooh, there's a great little cut apart strip. I'm showing the wrong camera. A great little cut apart strip on the other side. So if I need just a little bit more of that rainbow on something else, I will have it. Okay. Yes, today is a good day. Oh, and I'm already like not following the format. I want them like this. That's just how they're gonna be. Guidelines. I tried saying that one time that, you know, like speed limits, they're kind of more like a guideline than a rule, but apparently that's wrong. I didn't say it to a police officer, so I'm good. But my husband, I think that's what he thinks, is that they're more of a guideline than a rule. So I need a piece that is about, there we go, 6 by 8. Sherry says, I agree. I think they should be guidelines. The background paper is great for those photos. Thank you. It's good. It's nice to have that. At some point, I'm going to need a title for this. We are at a natural spring. We're drinking from the spring. It's a little, you know, family trip to the spring. So it is in the fall. It is not springtime, which would be kind of a funny title. But there. Okay, I kind of like how I've laid these pictures down. So I think before I ruin that, I'm going to actually tack them to each other. It looks very casual, and I like that. too close. There we go. Fiddle a bit. And then they're gonna sit on here. And that's gonna be on a little strip of, oh, I've got yellow and red. That's good. Ooh. You guys can hear that noise. There's like a loud rumbling noise. If you hear that, it's our garage door, which is right underneath me. Spring into fall, says Beth. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Terry says it's beautiful paper for picking up the colors in your photos. I'm really liking this so far. So, I don't want this to be wide, so maybe about 4. And I think I'll take off about there. And then a little bit of the red. Ooh, yeah. Can you get wider? Maybe. Well, this is just coming together, so this is good. I feel comfortable with this. Why is that not sticking? Usually once they touch the paper, the photo paper, they're like stuck for life. Oh, you know what? I'm not liking that so much. I think I'll go this way. Better. And Cheryl says, my daughter saw me making the card and gave me a hug. Aw, I missed it. You were on camera. We could have seen, but I missed it. Okay, so here what I've done is I'm gonna layer these like this, but I'm seeing that I don't have enough of this and I don't wanna cut a new piece. So I'm just gonna like trim it down the back in the middle, and I'm gonna make it a little bit wider behind my other layers. Nobody other than you will ever know. So now that I have a plan, Terry says you're so good with color. No, I'm not even good with color. I'm just using papers that are designed by designers. But thank you, I'll take the total. I'm like, yeah, sure, totally, that's me. Oh, that's the great thing about having designers make these gorgeous papers. They just know how it needs to work, right? And then we just get the benefit of working with beautiful papers that coordinate, right? That's the great thing about it. All right, let's add a little piece along here. I'll have to like really stick my layers after. I don't always do this. Sometimes there. Okay, now my biggest thing is going to be making sure that I match this side over here. See, look, now this is like not so narrow. I can make it a little bit wider, and that'll support more embellishments. Yeah, if you can get hugs from your daughter, you take them. Especially when they're spontaneous and you're not guilt tripping them into them, then that's even better. So Donna says she's able to chat now. Perfect. We're all on here together. So okay, I might need a ruler actually. I try not to ruler things too much anymore because I used to be addicted to my ruler. It was like a thing. But a little bit once in a while is okay, right? Okay, so let's see what I have for embellishments that go with this. I have some fabulous stickers. Oh, those will be nice along here. That's good for layering around that. And then I have back side of this. Oh, that's pretty. Hadn't even looked at that yet. And I've got these for my title. Terry says, my Tim Holtz fall wildflower dyes have run off with my tea ruler. They're having a party on their own, are they? It can happen. Marcia says, my sons are big huggers. My daughter-in-law's yet less so. Yeah, I used to have some cousins that weren't big huggers, and I lived with them for 2 years. After that, they were huggers too. They're just like, okay, Alice, hand it over. I'm like, oh. Because I know that wasn't their natural side. So while this like little collection here, let me stick the background paper and then I'll kind of talk about this for a sec. Well, this photo collection looks a little randomy, and it totally, like you saw me place it down, it was a little randomy. The great thing about this collection is that I still have vertical elements in here. So while things are kind of a little crooked, and maybe that one's a little too crooked, I'm gonna keep one of the photos vertical so that you still have that feeling. Like if they're all crooked, sometimes it can look like nothing was meant to be, if you know what I mean. So I'll just show you here. By leaving this top one here lined up with the sides, it'll actually kind of help my layout look like the other crooked ones are on purpose. If they're all just crooked, sometimes it's just like, she couldn't tell which way was up. So that would be my recommendation if you're making like a little wonky gathering of photos, is to pick something that is still going to have some kind of direction to it. So that is a good tip for that. This is good. I already feel like I'm probably more productive than I was last month. Okay. I'd probably put too much adhesive in case I want to tuck things, but we'll see. I'll just pry up corners if I have to. Okay, and I found this beautiful floral paper has this lovely blue pattern on the back. I kind of prefer it this way, but that could be a great way for me to get some journaling in here and kind of set up an area for my title. So I think I'm gonna slip this in. I don't really like having to pull this up like this. Maybe I'll just cut some of it off. As long as it tucks a little bit, it'll be good. Okay. There, and a little down. Great. Man, I'm feeling so productive today. This is good. This is how the layers are looking right now. I think it's looking pretty good. Not seeing any big glaring holes of like, why isn't this there too? And I think I'll work on my title in this space here, possibly bleeding, like layering over, bleeding onto is what I'm trying to say, but that sounds terrible. Layering over the blue. And so that's going to be a nice page. Jen says, I don't tilt photos often, but I think it's because I tilt them all. I love when you're saying about keeping one straight. It does make a difference. Yeah, like it kind of lets everything else feel intentional. I like the blue gives a little separation between the photo and the busy floral. Yeah, it because the photos have lots of colors and lots of action and stuff, when you have busy on busy, that doesn't work. So let's talk a little bit about pattern paper. I think using multiple pattern papers is super fun. It's something that I do all the time. And I think that when we're looking at pattern papers, like I'm drawn to the busier, crazier patterns. To me, that all says yes. It's like, yes, please, more busy, more crazy. But when you have a really bold pattern, and I consider this like as a good example of a bold pattern, right? It's bright, it has lots of colors. And when you put a photo onto it, it can be lost, right? Like if I had just this photo, none of them are going to come off. But when you have it on top of it, the photo gets a little lost in that pattern. So when I tuck that underneath there, you can see like it's hard to kind of pick that picture off of that pattern. Now it's not as bad as it could be because the pictures are outlined with the white. And I think this looks almost cream. So I think I get bonus points for using white and almost cream. It's kind of almost a whitey cream. So I'm like, you know, we'll give my bonus points for that because that's like a thing. But you have different patterns in your pack. So you have your bold patterns, and then your B-sides or whatever tend to be less bold patterns. So here we've got like the yellow flower pattern, but it's actually a very subtle pattern. And then you have the red with the spots, and that's even more subtle. So any of these patterns, even the yellow, I think work as a fairly good neutral. And I think that's what you need to look at when you're looking at your pattern papers, to see which ones are your bolds and where are your neutrals, because it's how you stack your bolds and your neutrals that give you a good balance when you're mixing pattern papers. So with this background paper, like that's major bold, right? It's got all of these colors. It looks simple because each one doesn't have a lot of pattern or anything going on, but because it's so many colors, it makes it really bold. So to work between the layers, you'll see like when I have a bold, I also have lots of separation. So here, because there's no actual pattern on this, it was okay to put my flowers directly on top of this because they stand out. But if I had another floral that was super busy, and lots of paper packs have that, right? You've got at least 2 or 3 really busy florals. And when you have that, you can't necessarily put those side by side. You need that space in between them. You need those pattern neutral colors. And so that's kind of what I'm doing, is creating the layers so that my photos actually pop off of here and they're not just getting lost in the busy patterns. So Brielle says I get half a point because it's kind of sort of creamish. I'll take it. I'll take it. So that's a little bit, and we can like look at other kits and stuff if you guys want me to kind of go through the whole bold versus like kind of like a neutral pattern. But I think that it's like a really, really important skill. Like I'm actually thinking hard about how my title is going to fit onto the space, because if you look, if I put these letters on here, is there enough pattern definition between this floral and these green letters? Maybe. And what I'm kind of looking at is how much of the word is going to be hanging off so that you get the feel of the word while it's overlapping part of this area, because I want to keep my journaling here. So I want to kind of keep enough of the word in a neutral zone. When we try to take, like, that's a common thing that I see when people are unhappy with their pages, lots of times it's because they're using busy pattern with busy pattern and not getting the calm layers kind of in between that help to separate the layers. And so for me, like when you put these letters on top of this background, that just, they're lost. Let me hold it up a little bit closer. So they're kind of lost on that crazy background, and you can kind of see that even while they're still on this clear sheet. So, you know, off of the side is good. Layering over the top here is good. You start to lose a little bit at the top, but because you have enough of it grounded, your eyes are really good at picking out words. Like words are, your eyes are just attracted to it. You're gonna read, right? You're going to be searching for those things and you're going to read. But by making it a little bit easier, it can definitely help you get kind of a better look for your page, one that you're going to be happier with. So I'm going to call it the spring, and I think I'm going to set my words. So here's a good trick that I do like all the time is I set my words up on the edge of my clear ruler. It's one that has like the bevel on this side, but it has like a wide flat side because it has like a metal edge along here. So it's really good if I'm using a like one of those craft blades. I was what I call scalpel, you know, Dr. Alice with her scalpel, craft blade to go run along there. So I like having a ruler that has that middle edge. But then because it's a little bit higher, it makes a really good surface for setting up your titles and stuff. So I'm going to take these letters. Now these are thickers, but they have a foam base. So they have a little bit of paper topper on them. So be careful when you're pulling them off the sheet because as they bend, you're going to like wrinkle that thing. And I can show you exactly because I did that here. So I've got like a little bend in the top of it. And you know, who's going to look at that and notice? Probably only you. But, you know, just heads up on that. I do stuff like that a lot. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should have done it like that. Like, just be more careful. So yeah, I think setting up my titles on the edge gives me the chance to kind of see the whole word or the whole multiple words together. And then I actually have a couple of these rulers in case I'm doing a title that has like a couple of lines so that I can kind of line the lines up together and kind of get that spacing really good. So if you see people that are really good at spacing their titles, you know, some people are just naturally talented, but some people cheat like me. So like you can always cheat like me. It's totally okay. And Teresa's saying, I have been a member of the Scrap Room for several months and I absolutely love what I get every month. It is the best kit ever. And so I said up front, like, I don't know if it's actually on the recording or not, but I pay for my kit, right? Like I'm telling you what I think about it because I pay for it. We will be doing a draw for a free kit. But yeah, I pay for things up front. So just so you know, when I'm telling you how much I love it, I'm not just getting like free stuff and like talking it up. Like some people do that. And they're like, this is the best thing ever. And then afterwards I'm like, oh, but if I'm willing to pay for it, I think that means something. Okay, so by putting this like partially over the letters, I like over part of that stuff and having part of it over top of the blue, it gives you enough ground for the title. Can I bring this down? No, that thing is so tight. 1 second. Okay. This massive thing that holds this little itsy bitsy camera up, which is kind of hilarious, but there we go. So I can bring it a little bit closer now. So now you can see, like I can move it around and kind of try to get the best spacing for where I want it. And I want to call it the spring, but I think what I'll do is grab some of the little letters and put like a little the above the end of it. And then I can put like kind of like an embellishment on this side so it kind of looks balanced. And I've got lots of lovely little sticker embellishments and stuff, so I can kind of plan for that. And then I'll leave most of that blue section for that. So sometimes this works really good, bringing the letters off right off of the ruler. Sometimes not so much. This one worked pretty good, so I'm just gonna like stick those down. Now I did see that other kit in here. One of them had little letters, and let's see if they were a good color. No, they are not. That is not the color I need. So I'll have to find some other little letters that say the or something. Ooh, I've got a little look, and I could do at the spring. Ooh, that's cute. That's a fun idea. And because this is actually like a little, yeah, okay, so that'll be good. So this is really solid. This little look is super solid, and it has like a little bit of that copper on it, which is fun. I'm gonna pop it up. It needs a little bit of height, but it's gonna be really great for my title. Did you buy the alphas separately? No, the alphas came. So this one is just part of the other kit. So there was 4 of these mini kits. So this one was the Amy Tangerine one. This one was the Cartabella one. This one is the Jen Hadfield. And this one is, oh, the letters. Yeah, the big alphas. Yes, they came in my embellishment kit. And this one was the photo play. So those are the main flavors of the month kit. And then these letters were in the embellishment kit. And so you get an embellishment that fits with each one of the 4 kits. And these letters were the one that kind of matched with my Amy Tangerine one. So these letters, yes. The other little mini ones that I showed were separate. Oh, yeah, they're even packaged separately. So it's like super nice when you get this stuff. Yeah, I was like, hey, this is super good. Okay, and I have totally moved stuff around and I lost my little sticker. That's hilarious. Okay. Not shocking at all. It'll be on the back of one of these kits, probably this one. Where did that sticker go? Anybody ever play that game? Inevitably, always check on your butt. Like, it's a good place to look when that sticker goes missing. Somehow it ends up there, or at the bottom of your foot. Recently, my husband bought this lounge chair. He usually doesn't even sit on it. I don't think he likes it that much. So I tend to sit on his lounge chair. And recently I had a number or a letter or something stuck to the bottom of my foot. I'm like, it happens. Okay, so here we go. Look, and then I'll have at the spring. And let's see, we've got, ooh, some more fun stickers. And since I'm creating like an arrow thing, I was going to point at the word spring, but this is actually the spring right beside here. So I'm going to totally point it that way. Yeah, the embellishment kit is separate. So the flavors of the month, I think is $25.95, we said. And then the embellishment kit was an extra $12. And yeah, you can see like their videos on the site. Is pretty cool. I love so that's fun. And then I was looking and there's like this really fun little embellishment-y thing. You'll see when I pull. Oh, it's gonna be a pain. Okay. Stay. I want the little middles to stay. Okay, they're not going to stay. So here's a little, are they gonna stay here? Stick it down on here. Get those little middles to stay here. And then I can, they kind of look like candy corns in the middle of this actually. They have that shape. Oh, I've still missed 2 of them. There. So that's kind of like this little cute little scallopy border. And if I really wanted to draw attention to the fact that this photo up here is vertical, having a little piece that sticks like beside it that draws a little bit more attention is a really great way to bring your eye to that fact that that's a really vertical piece. And you'll notice that I cut some of it off. So that way, if I want a little bit more of it, I can use a little bit more of it in another spot. I might do that. We'll see. Actually, it looks kind of good right there. Okay. Perfect. That just kind of stretches some of that cool foil stuff. Amy says, I'm putting my layouts into actual albums, and I just found the layout of you and I, Alice from Creativation. Okay, can you show and tell it for us? Or is that like too hard? Because that's super fun. Let's see. Okay, I've got you unmuted. I think I can hear you.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to remember how to change my camera view. Oh, there we go. There we go. Here's the layout of us from Creativation. And you see it?
Here, I'll spotlight you
there
up.
There we go.
Yay!
My camera's crooked.
Gosh.
Here we are. I'm actually creating an album now for Creativation. And I was going through, literally, it's a stack, like this high of layouts. It was so fun meeting you there.
I was so excited. I met Amy as part of Christina's team. She had this whole team. Everybody's running around with shirts that say, shh, it's a secret or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were doing.
And then we got to go for dinner and stuff. So thank you for sharing. That's so fun.
You're welcome.
There we go. So yeah, this is just coming together good. Okay, I need a little Every Moment Matters, maybe. Cool, but I think I want to pop that up too. I don't like flat stickers very much. It's a problem because I'm always like trying to pop them up. But that's okay, because once you know yourself, that's okay. I really wish I had die cuts for this too. Oh, I know. I'm gonna take one of these florals and tuck it. Oh, it's too close to the other pattern. Nope, I don't like that at all. It's going back on the sheet. Oh, here, this is what I need. I need a little bit of grounding strip. Grounding strip. Okay, sneak that in here. And then I can put another little doodad on top of it. Oh, these little wooden hearts are cute. They just need a little pop up too. And then I'll have, I've got 3 of them, so then I can pop them into 3 different spots. And with some journaling and those letters that I'll find after, this should be good. Would I actually get something done today? That'll be new. Here. That's what I needed, is a little bit more foliage there. And a little heart there and get these done. So Tara says, I sometimes struggle with layering big patterns. So I'm loving this, Alice. And I'm just trying to, if I had a bigger die cut, I would have totally stuck this in here, and maybe I should have taken some other pattern paper or something, but this is cute. Maybe that's what I should have had in there behind that. Totally. Okay, well, we're gonna haul that up. So it's really pretty on its own, but I kind of want it more as a layering piece. So I'm just gonna layer it in here. So when I'm creating like a embellishment cluster, I kind of think like something bigger, something littler, something horizontal, and then little doodads that fluff it out. So it's very technical. It's very technical. And this has words on it, and the words are fine, but I really want these words. So I'm just going to pop this up on the middle of it. And I feel that that just kind of brings this together a lot better. And I think my little horizontal piece there could be a little wider. So I might tuck another little piece into that. The little horizontal wasn't enough by itself. So let's get that ready. There's, ooh, this is good. A little piece of this one too. Oh, that wasn't enough. Okay. I can see that now. Okay, so this is going on here. And I'm gonna tuck it in here. Trim it to where I need it. There we go. Better. And then that will actually help my little heart make more sense there. And okay, so I need those letters for there, and I need a little something for here. And I think I want a little something right in here too. Okay, I'm gonna take this other heart and pop it so that I have all three of those ready to go. Can you use the red leaf anywhere? The create, oh, I love it. I know, it's so pretty. It possibly will go, because I keep going back to it. Because I have this little bit of leafy cluster over here, I would definitely like to get that other one on there. It's sad we don't actually, yes, I live in Canada, but we don't get like the big red maple trees out where I live. That's more like Eastern Canada. And it's so sad because I really want those leaves in my yard. We can get like smaller versions, but a lot of them don't even turn red. They kind of turn yellow instead, which is sad. Okay, so I need those little things here. That little leaf, let's see if we can get him. This one, that one, no, it's definitely gonna have to come over here. I was planning to put my little cluster here, but I'm looking over here and I'm feeling like this needs a little something. So I think I'll pop him up over here. Marcia says, okay, this is a picky design thing, but you have trapped white space in the middle. I know, it's okay. Put an embellishment there. It's just a little tiny bit of trapped, and it relates to the background, so it's not actually bothering me because it feels connected so much, I think. Because lots of times when you do trap a little space there, it feels a little awkward, but I definitely wouldn't put a thing there. Okay, and then I'm going to take another little piece of this. And a little piece of this one too. Let's see how long I want this one to be. Yeah. Yeah, all the little things that that kind of helped us kind of finish it, right? Sometimes it's the finishing touches. And some days I feel like I know exactly what I'm doing, and other days I'm like, I don't even know how to scrapbook at all. so if you have those moments where you second guess yourself and you question like everything that you're doing, everybody does that, I think, from time to time. I wish, oh, this is like a fun little shiny little thing. And I want to add, actually, I think I'm going to put like a little subtitle or something here. That would be good. Okay, I'm going to touch that there, but I'm not going to commit to that there because I'm not sure that I like that yet. And this I really thought was going to come up here. We'll see. I might move that. We'll see. Oh, there's like little hearts that are shiny. Yes, let's put one of those here. And one of these here. Oh, this one needs to be. There. Okay, so I might put another little title down here. I think that would be a good thing. None of these are really feeling like the right thing to go on here. So I think I'm gonna call this good without having to go look for other stuff. Okay, so here we go. This is my semi-finished layout. I want to put a couple those little blocky letters, kind of like these other ones that I had here, but they're just not the right color. So something like of this style I'll stick right here. And I think I'll find a little phrase. I probably have some Amy Tangerine or something that is will have kind of the right vibe to it. Oh, look at this. I've got this word explore right there. It looks pretty good. Is it going to be bigger than my title though and kind of take away from it? Maybe. Here's some other fall things. Yeah, I've got lots of stuff. Well, that's kind of yellow. So many good options. My room is just filled with beautiful things. Okay, I think it's good. I'm gonna let it sit for right now. And we're gonna do a draw because that's super fun. So let's switch my video here. And we are going to do the draw. So I usually, okay, where is my phone? I pull up a random number generator and we do the thing. So let's get that. Random number generator. And I might need to come up with a new system because this is going to be a lot of counting. Which is great. So here's the deal. We have 67 people in the room. One of them is me. So 66 people. And we're going to do a max 66, 1 to 66. And I'm going to hit the generate button. And what is the number? 10? Oh, I can count to 10. That's great. Without losing track. So congratulations to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Chris Baker. Congratulations, Chris Baker. You are the winner of the Flavors of the Month kit. She's like, oh, wait. Please send me an email, support@scraphappy.org. Make sure it's .org. And we will get you hooked up with your kit. I think that to test shipping, I think that they sent me a kit without the coffee and with the coffee. And so I think that, and this was the one that arrived was with the coffee. So I think we're going to be skipping the coffee for now. So I think you'll get the one with the coffee when it arrives to me. I'll ship it off to you, but I need your mailing address. So please send me an email, Chris, and I will get you hooked up with that. It hasn't quite arrived at my house yet, so I'm really glad that she shipped one without it. So this is a good time for us to do some show and tell. If anybody else has some stuff that they would like to show off and share, maybe cards that you're making, pages that you're making, so much fun. And then we'll just sit and do a little more scrapping and do some stuff. Yeah, congrats to Chris. Tara says, great kit and fun session today. Yeah, I plan to scrap for a little bit longer because I like to make 2 or 1.5. Let's be real, it's more like 1.5. I do have a layout that I started the other day that I really didn't get a lot done on because I had to do journaling. So I don't know if I can still finish that. Danelle says, I can share. So let me bring up Danelle here. There we go. So I'm going to ask you to unmute and I will cancel my spotlight. Can I hear you?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, hello. Oh, good, good. So I used the same kit you used today, Alice. I have the Amy Tangerine, what's it called? Late afternoon. Mm-hmm. Mine looks very different than yours. I scrapped my son's 5th grade science camp. So I didn't use a lot of the pretty flowers that I would have otherwise, probably if I wasn't scrapping my, 13-year-old boy. But this is what I have here.
Oh my gosh, look how different this looks, guys.
So different.
Wow. No,
yeah.
That's awesome.
A couple of the things in there are from my stash. It's not all just the kit. Mm-hmm. But most of it is. Most of it's the kit. All the papers are and some of the embellishments. But yeah, that's so different.
And it's funny, you use that little metallic border strip, just like
I know. I saw you using that and I'm like, yep, we know what's good.
So Carla says, very nice job, Danelle.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's nice. It's interesting to see how different it is from Alice's. Yeah. And
yeah.
Kara says, I'm going to go check my mailbox to see if my kit came. I thought just Alice got hers. Yeah, I do get it shipped out a little earlier so that I can have them in time for this. But yeah. But if you're not in Canada waiting for your stuff to arrive, then maybe you'll have yours too.
Yeah, I'm, in Texas, and she said they went out, I think, a day or 2 late because of our Labor Day. Mm-hmm. So I received mine, I think it was the day before yesterday. So they should be hitting mailboxes, at least here in the US. So yeah. Fingers crossed. I love, love, love this kit club. Yeah. Crazy love it.
I think
it's so great.
I think the way it compares to other kit clubs is that you get like the whole flavors thing, right? It's like you get 4 different things. And so it's not like the whole kit is necessarily one style. I like that feel of it. And I like to be able to taste test all the stuff. So when I was talking with Rochelle, she said to me, we use almost every paper pack that gets created throughout the year because we're using so many things. Like they're putting 4 into this kit. They're doing so many other things. Like she's like, we use almost every paper collection. So let's keep those designers making more paper collections because they need them for these kits. But yeah, I thought that was just a fascinating way to kind of get a sample of all the fun stuff so that you can really play with it. And you can see like it was super easy to just kind of plop everything in there and kind of have everything matching, right? Because like I don't take any credit for the colors doing their thing. They just did that because that's how it's designed. And it's like, I think the easiest cheat when you're just wanting to sit down and create, we don't have to, like, I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to kind of feel like we have to like start from the beginning or something. And if we don't, you know, come up with our own color combinations, and if we don't come up with our own designs, that somehow we're not that creative, or we're not doing it right, or we're not like, and I think we're just too hard on ourselves. So yeah, keeping it easy. Yeah. And I think that it's totally okay to use these things. That's literally why they're created. So the stuff just goes together. Marcia says, I might have to switch to this one. It seems like such a good deal. And 12 by 12 kits are getting less and less available. So many have gone to traveler's notebooks, pocket pages, and I like to have the 12 by 12 options. Oh yeah, I'm so glad that Diane says I'm keeping her dinner or keeping her company while she's having dinner. She's in Scotland, so so it's her dinner time. But yeah, no, that's super fun. Yeah, and I think seeing the different ways you can take any of the product lines, that's so good. I'm really glad that you showed us. If somebody else has an example where they've used this same line, I'd love to see that too, because it really shows the versatility of the products, and it really, your creativity goes into how you combine the pieces, right? And I think for me, like that was, it's really good to see that. It's really fun. And you know, some people love those big bold patterns and stuff like that's like like my dad says, oh, you're like a magpie, you're drawn to all the sparkly things, right? Like I totally am. But I think that if you know that that's your style, then you can totally use it. And looking at any paper packs, like comment on my video for this page that I made, I would never have thought to use kitty papers like that to scrapbook about myself. And I read that and I'm like, I'm so glad that I gave them this different perspective for that. Because yeah, like we kind of think, well, that's just for this or that's just for that. But I look at this and yeah, it has little kid flashcards, and it's definitely designed for kids going back to school. And that is not the story that I told on that page. So being able to share that, but you still use the fun products, that was a lot of fun. So I mentioned something in my other video, and so I think, oh, I don't know if it's in this book. Okay, it's either in this one or my other one. Oh, it might be in my other one. Yeah, it's definitely not in here. Okay, I'm gonna find a page. Maybe we'll try to find a page, because when I saw this paper pack, I was just like, oh my goodness. Let's see. If it's not in here, then I don't know actually where it is. So, and that happens too. Oh, no, I don't think it's going to be in here because he's too young. Oh, that's a good question then. Maybe it went into some kind of family album. Darn it. I did a paper piecing one time with my son, and then I popped up, I actually made a school that looks exactly like this school sticker. And I popped it up, and then I created this little slider element, and like you pull on like a little ribbon and he slides into the school. And it was like the funnest thing. But now I can't. Oh, I'll have to find it. If I find it, I'll post it on my Instagram because it is so good. I'm just like, where is that page? Not sure. So fun. But yeah, and so when you get like papers like these ones, right? Like these little kitty back to school papers, and if you don't have little kitties for going back to school, that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't fit for something that you want to do. Yeah, everyone's like, so fun, please share when you find it. I totally will. And it was just so cute because he was going off to school and he's got his little backpack on, and then yeah, I paper pieced a little skull and it looked exactly like that. So when I saw it, I'm like, I have to use that sticker even though I'm technically not going to school. And I have a massive list of books, a massive pile of books. So anybody else have a stack that looks like that right now? I have not been reading like I thought I would be this year. I just find like so many other things to do. I used to be a voracious reader. I would read a lot, and now I've fallen out of the habit. I tend to do other things. Listen to podcasts. That definitely cuts into my reading time. I've picked up crochet this year, so that's like one of the things. Just scrapbooking cuts into my reading time. So it's really interesting to kind of see how life ebbs and flows. But I really, really wanted to do some more reading. I have a gigantic stack of books that I need to get to. And Jeanette says, you've been a little busy with some ScrapHappy events. Just a little. So much fun though. And yeah, so Kate says, I've been reading a lot of fiction. My nonfiction pile is huge. And I used to be like, only fiction. Like I didn't read nonfiction. That was not my thing. But lately I am so into nonfiction. It is just like I'm learning things and I'm discovering things, and I'm just not making time for my fiction reading. When I grab a book, it's like, ooh, I gotta know this thing. And so it's been really fun and really exciting. Diane says, I read 7 books in the last 2 months. I was behind. It was just wonderful to sit outside in the gorgeous weather as the weather is turning fall-like. Yeah, our air is crispy. Like, it is getting chilly here. And like the leaves are definitely like falling off the trees already. It's sad. Tammy says audiobooks so I can craft and read. Yeah. And like maybe that's what I need to do. But when I have a nonfiction book, so here's the thing, like I could maybe get into an e-reader for fiction, but with nonfiction, I want to grab a highlighter. I want to underline stuff. I want to write in the margins. It's terrible. I was never a kid that would even fold a corner on a book, and now it's like defacing them. University did that to me. I don't know. It was like the first time where I was like, I'm allowed to write. I guess I own it. Like, I think of books not really as owning them. I was a good library attendee for a long time. You can do all that on an ebook, but for me, it's not easy to like flip back to. And my sticky notes and, you know, my little obsession with sticky notes. Yeah, nonfiction is totally for highlighting and marking. Yeah, I think that's the case. So I've contemplated getting an e-reader, but it would fulfill half of my reading desire. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm gonna grab this thing. So this is the page that I was working on that I hope I would finish the other day, but I didn't. But I've decided I wanted to cut out a few new things. So let me switch camera views for a second. Okay. Ooh, okay. Oh, it actually balanced a little bit. So I was starting on this rainbow page. I have this picture of my husband and I on a rainbow unicorn floaty. It is gigantic, like really, really gigantic. And I've got this cute little acrylic pieces that will go onto here. I have an idea of where my journaling wants to go, and I want to do kind of a bit of it on here. So that's kind of been a slowing point on this page. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a few of these little clouds from this paper. So that's what I'm going to work on right now as we keep chatting. But I'm going to switch back since that color is going all wonky again. and I'm just cutting something. I think everybody knows how to use. I know, Jeanette says, what? Fussy cut? I know. It's like the F word of the scrapbooking industry. Not my thing, but I do it once in a while. I might need my other scissors for that though. Oh, Brielle has a lot of books. Oh, did I miss? Did she show us? She has 52. After moving 52 boxes of books the last time we moved, I stopped buying books. 100% e-reader or library. See, I would totally love to, but like getting rid of a book, it kind of just hurts my heart. And she says, I'm a huge reader and my husband is a collector. I read over 75 books a year. That's really good. That's really good. Yeah. And I think that sitting there and holding a book. Cheryl says, I love to fussy cut. Is that not normal? No, it's totally normal. It's just not my normal. I think sitting there and holding a book is totally, it feels decadent right now. And it's such a good feeling. So that's part of why I have been digging back into it. And years ago, I was in a book club. And my goodness, it introduced me to books that I would never have chosen for myself ever to read. And some of them have been the most thought-provoking reads. So I really find that that has been missing from my life. I had just joined the one from the library, and yeah, it was a very diverse group of people. It wasn't just like a group of my friends where we kind of share more in common. This was diverse. Like, this was a good, it was such a good experience. Yeah, I don't even know how to state that anymore. It was just such a good experience to kind of hear all of the different thoughts, especially when you're looking at books that deal with different topics. And yeah. Rhonda says, I like the Cliff Note version of reading, the Hallmark Channel and documentaries. Yeah, sometimes you just want some information, right? Erica says, I never became a proficient fussy cutter, so I tried with an X-Acto knife and I haven't looked back. I was so that girl. I was fantastic with a little craft blade, my scalpel, Dr. Alice, you know, but yeah, it's this one extra step. And part of it is, so you'll notice, I am not cutting this big piece of paper. You have to cut it down to a size that you can hold and manage, and you have to wiggle your paper. It's all about not moving your scissor hand very much, but moving your paper. And so I can do fussy cutting. That doesn't mean I have to like it. Yeah. And Mary says, I like real books. Reading on a screen is like working. It isn't relaxing. And that's the thing that has kept me from becoming a digital scrapbooker. Computers are work. And scrapbooking is supposed to be fun. So that means that I can't let it be on a computer. And, you know, but then I'm missing out because there's so many fun things that you can do. So does anybody have any of those little quirks, like dumb rules that you know that are kind of dumb rules that you make for yourself, but you just do it anyways? Kathy says, 4 of us did a mother-daughter trip to Savannah, Georgia. While driving, we read out loud the book, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. We had an amazing adventure watching the story come to life as we traveled through Savannah. We actually each bought the book to alter and put our pictures in. Oh my gosh, what a fun idea. What a fun idea. And Jen says, I have a Kindle, but have rarely used it for books. I just prefer paper, and I tend to fussy cut more than I should admit to. Yeah, Mary says, yeah, I feel that way about scrapbooking too. I want to work with my hands. Brielle says, I love reading books about where I'm traveling. So I had the best adventure with that the one time, completely by accident. I had this list of books that I'd said, like, it was books that you should read, or 100 books that you should read, or something like that. And I'd gone to the library and I said, oh, I'd like to get one of these books. I didn't tell the librarians. I really didn't know what the rules were on something like that. I was taking the book with me on my trip to India, but I didn't tell her that because, like, I'm like, is that even allowed? I don't even know. Like, I'm taking it out of the country. Like, are there rules on that? I don't know. But, you know, I still don't know. But I took this, she gave me this book, and I'm starting to read it, and it was The Life of Pi, and we were going to India, and it's about this kid from India, and it, like, the kid at one point is in Pondicherry, and we went to Pondicherry, and it was just like this amazing thing, and I'm like, okay, well, she didn't know, but that was perfect because it just made my whole travel adventure and the book both came to life so much more because I was there. So if you're doing some travel at some point in the future when that's a thing again, then I highly encourage finding a book that features the place that you're going to. I've done the same now for Italy, and so fun. And yeah, Tara says my kids and my extras are here. Yay! That's awesome. So now she's going to be having all the fun. Yeah, traveling and having the books that relate to that is such a good thing. Okay, I don't know how many of these I'm gonna want. Probably like not as many as I cut. That's like the story of cutting things out, right? Fussy cutting. You cut all these pieces out and you use like 2 of them. But I like to have options. Kate says, when I lived in Belgium, my book club read several books set there, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, and just that kind of, and then after you've been to a place and then you read books that are about that place, that's extra fun too, because it gives you like this little like relive the moment thing. I read the wedding gown. I think it was called that, or maybe it's just called The Gown. I don't know. It's about Queen Elizabeth's dress and the dressmaker. It's kind of the story about the dressmaker. So it's like kind of like this cross between fiction, nonfiction. It has like these real elements, but it's fictional. Yeah, but it was fascinating to read because, you know, like I've been to London, so some of the places that they talk about, it's like, oh, yeah, I've been there. I remember that. I've seen that. And it was totally set in a different time period, but it's London, like, like those things are still there. They have history, man. So yeah, it's kind of fun. But sometimes it's funny because we have these things that we do, or places that we go, or events that we have in our life, and they're almost like too precious to scrapbook, which sounds ridiculous, but I see some nodding heads, so I know I'm off. I'm not there. Sharon, thank you so much for being here. She's leaving. Gotta go. But yeah, sometimes we have these moments or these things in our life that they were so precious to us that we struggle to scrapbook them because we want to do them justice. We want to have that perfect paper. We want to tell the story just right. And I tell you, I am so working on that in my own storytelling and in my own scrapbooking, because there are too many stories that have not been told because of my hesitation to get it right. Yeah, so get it right and then not do it at all. And yeah, there's several projects that I have like that. So Catherine says, I haven't scrapped my wedding yet. It's been close to 2 years. You're lucky it's been 2 years. Like, you probably still remember that thing. Because I bet you there's a few of us that are still sitting here with unscrapped wedding photos. Beth says, those stories are always the hardest for me. Wedding, births, big events. And so if I'm gonna like tell you this now, but this is like, it's on my mind because it's coming up in an upcoming podcast episode. Hint, hint, sneak, sneak. But yeah, it's on my mind. And one of the things, like, when I look back through my son's book, like, he's the reason pretty much I ended up diving into scrapbooking when my son was born, my first son. And there are things in the book that aren't included or not finished or that are missing. And it's stuff that I really, really wish that I'd had included. And so upcoming sneak peek episode 8. Watch for that Tuesday. That's when the episodes drop for the podcast, ScrapHappier podcast. And we'll be talking about that whole fear of not getting it right and then not doing it because of that. So, new topic. And if you have tips or insights, feel free to share. Books that we've suffered through. That's funny. Yeah. Jen says, I went to London on business and took a day trip to Windsor Castle. I was utterly blown away by the fact that at one point I looked down and realized I was standing on Henry VIII. Yeah, like just like the level of history that you get when you travel. Like, Canada's pretty young country. USA, a little older as far as country goes, I guess. Like, yeah, but still, like, we have nothing compared to like history, right? Like, yeah. We had a friend that dropped by unexpectedly yesterday, so that was like a little thing that happened. And he was telling us like about his trip to the Everest base camp, and yeah, he had done that a few years ago and traveled there. And then he's talking about all the other places he's traveled, and I'm like, I was so jealous. Like, green-eyed monster happening big time here because I love travel so much. Not that I want to go to Everest Base Camp, don't get me wrong. That is not on my list of places to go. But he's visited 95 countries. I know. And I'm like, oh. And just, like, enjoyed different things about all of the places. And it was one of the things that I enjoyed the most about when we homeschooled our kids was the opportunity to kind of study a place and then go there and kind of dive into that world and explore that, right? And because you've studied it a little bit ahead of time, the stuff you see there is more relevant. And then when you see the stuff when you're there, that's more relevant, and like it just sticks so good. I still find my kids like mentioning things about places that we went, and it's amazing when they do that because I'm like, that's because we went there. That's because we studied that. And it's so fun to kind of to see that. And it's not just them. Like, if you want to make your travel better, do the same thing. Study something about the place before you go and tell me if that doesn't make it a better thing, because it totally is good. Okay, I think I have plenty of like little clouds cut out. Oh wait, there's one more. Sherry says, I have to go. Thanks for doing this. Have a good rest of the weekend. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your time. Yeah, I think that our lives can be so rich. And sometimes like, so I think right now, like I'm realizing how many cool things we have like within 25 minutes of here, within 45 minutes of here, because we can't go off and have big adventures and go places. But the little things that we've been able to do kind of in our own backyard, we forget to appreciate that, right? Like, when we have had relatives come over, my dad is from Wales, and so we've had some family members come and stay with us, and we go off and we show them all the things around here. And, like we forget how wonderful they really are because it's here and because we have access. And because we have access, we don't do it, right? Like, isn't that the worst part? Is like we sometimes don't enjoy the stuff in our own kind of backyard because it's right here. So I have to try to remember that when I'm like missing out on this international travel. Joyce says my kids whined about my history vacations, but now that's what they talk about. Yeah. And it's funny like how you can learn things, right? Kids are so funny. I mentioned this the other day to someone. I said, my kids, we traveled to France and I drug them to Notre Dame. And, I was just like so excited to be there. I wanted to go so bad. And my son, we're standing in line to be able to walk into the Notre Dame Cathedral. And he looks down, he's like, oh, this is this center of Paris or whatever. He's telling me about this little brass circle on the ground and how it connects to all these things. And he's telling me about this. And I'm like, where'd you learn about this? Oh, it was like on a YouTube video or some video game or something that and I'm like, all the times that I spend like dissing the things that the kids are doing. And I get it, like, they don't need too much screen time, but there are different things that they pick up along the way. Like, I don't know, we had rules against like the non-Nintendo games when the kids were younger, because that was like, I was very anti that. But yeah, just discovering like the stuff that they've been exposed to, the things that they tell me about sometimes, I'm like, how do you know that? Where did you learn this? And then, yeah, it's like, oh, I learned about it from this guy's video. I learned about this on this video game. Like, I think he was building something on Minecraft and they had something about that or something. I don't even remember, but it was just interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Marcia says, my son's learned a ton of history from Age of Empire and Civilization computer games. Yeah. So, yeah, fun stuff. Tammy says, Nevada Bar writes mysteries that take place at national parks. Her main character is a park ranger. We travel to many national parks. I'm like, oh, I remember that from the book. And Marcia says, my father-in-law lived on Long Island his entire life, but didn't actually visit the Statue of Liberty until he was 75, and we went as a family. Right? Not enjoying the things in our own backyard. And Kathy says, we do, Joyce, who's her mom, we totally did that years ago. We live in Mickey Mouse's backyard and took an entire week to totally tourist our own state. Disney, Epcot, Universal, Busch Gardens, Cape Canaveral, and we had so much fun. Yeah, I think it's interesting, like the things we put value on. It's like going somewhere is exciting, but then it's like, oh, look at all the great things we have here. And yeah, when we bring family over, like when we've had family over from Europe, they come here and their eyes are as big as saucers and they're like, this is amazing. Look at all the things. And it's stuff that we're just like, oh yeah, you can see the mountains, and oh yeah, you can like just go to this amazing mall. We just pop there for the day. Like, and they're like, wow. So yeah, it's pretty fun. Jessica says, I just did a journal about the fact that one of the good things from the summer is rediscovering the activities around us. Yay! So fun. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, that's like I have this line here, this from Photoplay, the social distancing. And yeah, we have some social distancing stuff to tell, and I've got some stories. And I've kind of been thinking about how to approach that because I haven't scrapbooked a bunch of that yet. But I think that part of it is going to be the appreciations that I have for the things that I've done during this time. And yeah, it's different than my normal life. And there have been hard times through it. And seeing my kids floundering at a time when they're young and should be like flourishing has been really tough. But, you know, finding the ways to kind of do the connections that we have been amazing. Like at first, like getting all my family together on Zoom chats and having them learn what, like how to do like chats and stuff like that. You know, that was kind of funny, right? Like teaching everybody how to use the technology from afar while you're trying to teach them how to use it. But yeah, it's been interesting. Diane says, I started the pandemic journal with the history of the 1918 pandemic as a mirror. As they mirror each other so well. Yeah. And I think, who was it? Daniela was telling me the other day, she said like she has a book and she actually has like this timeline that kind of shows the different events that have happened and how kind of things have progressed. And then she has her own stories and how that kind of weaves into that. I think it's interesting. Yeah, so I have some lovely clouds to go with this page. I don't really have anything else. Time for any more show and tell. Would anybody else like to show off something that they have created? It will be recorded and on video, so be aware. But we would love to see if you'd like to do that. Beth says Persnickety Prints has some awesome timelines, including blank ones that you can adapt to your own experience. That's a really cool tip. Prints, timelines. Oh, super fun. Okay, Jacqueline has her hand up. So Jacqueline, can I get you to unmute?
Okay, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I signed up to do 30 days of lists this month. So I did my list for today. It was how I added fun to my week. Well, and I'm back at work, so I had to think really hard about this one. But I'm practicing my brush lettering while doing my lists. And then number 6 is stickers. So I love these ladies and I don't often have a reason to put them on my scrapbook pages. So I'm really loving, like with this whole book, I'm just using all the stickers, like all my little planner stickers. So
it's tough because like sometimes you have like these things and then you bought them because you love them, but they don't necessarily go on a scrapbook page, right? Like they're just not right for that. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for showing us. Yeah, Allie says that is so pretty. And Carla said how fun that journal is. So yeah, super fun. Beth says she could show. Yeah, would you please, Beth? That would be awesome. There we go.
There. So they're really cute. She has, this is the Persnickety Prints timelines. They show it to you. Let me take it out of here. She gives it to you in like a couple different versions. One is like, I like the one that didn't have a lot of extra stuff on it, but you can get it a version that's colored and colorful, I guess I should say. And then each month she puts it a format like this and then puts what actually happened in the world with the pandemic during that time. This was March. And then I took it and changed the words to fit what sort of like melding the two, where I took some of the world events and then put some of my events on there too. And then this is what it looks like, just sort of the blank thing. She has like headings you can put on it. but I liked it more simple like this. And they're free. They're just, you can download them from Persnickety Print's site. And they have one for each month, I think from March till, I'm not sure, maybe June or something. I'm not sure exactly how many months, but certainly the months where we were all looking at numbers and stuff, it's there. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, they're still making them.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it recently. And I liked how there were several versions. And then of course you can get it printed out there or printed on your home printer.
Cool. Well, thank you. I totally didn't know they had stuff like that. Kate, did you want to show it too?
Yeah, sure. I'm using the Persnickety Prints ones also in a little traveler's notebook. This is a Carrie Bradford little word art. Sorry, the lighting is not good. I really want to get this figured out so I can share better. But just my purpose page, and then that's the January timeline. Now it's not focusing either. I'm sorry.
I see it pretty good. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's not perfect, but like.
So I'm using, this is as is, the colorful version as is, and then I put like my stuff for the month on the other side. I don't have much to put on January and February, but starting in March, I'll probably also have like an extra spread in each month to put maybe the memes or, you know, the shopping, or, you know, just some kind of themed layout in between the different months. But I'm keeping mine really simple because that's the only way I'll get it done.
Yeah. Well, I know that during that time, my husband was always sending me text photos, and like I didn't actually go into one of the stores when the shelves were bare and there was no toilet paper and stuff like that. Like he was like, "You stay home, you're not going anywhere," and I'm like, "Okay." But
We still have stores without toilet paper, and I've been trying to get Lysol wipes. We don't use them often, but my husband likes to use them on his workout equipment. And I haven't been able to find Lysol wipes since March. So,
yeah, all of the little things that have really kind of changed in our situation the way it has been. And I think now we've come to a point where, you know, we look back and thankfully those scariest of times are over, like when things were so uncertain. And so it kind of gives us a little bit of perspective now to be able to share these stories. At that time, I was so not ready. Like, I don't know if anybody else was in that kind of situation where because you're in it and because like there is like this anxiety. For the first time in my life, I understood what anxiety was. Like, I am not that person generally, but for the first time I really understood that. And so it was interesting to kind of have that new perspective. And I think that, it's very interesting to kind of just have the perspective we have now to be able to kind of tell some of that stuff now. Carla says, what hurts me right now is I can't hug my mom still. She's in assisted living and she tears up wanting to hug us. Yeah. Those family connections that we're not allowed to have are seriously the worst. Allie says, we just started to have some Lysol wipes available. We hardly use them, but we've got some to have on hand. Yeah, it's, you know, little things that you just don't even expect, right? But yeah, and I think that through all of this, my focus has been so much on the things that I can enjoy, because I wanted to kind of give myself that positive interaction. Like at first I was reading the news like multiple times every day, and that's when I was feeling anxious, right? Because I'm reading all the news. It wasn't good, right? It was just terrible. And so I really had to kind of step back and be like, I can look at the news one time in one day. Tomorrow there will be new news and I will catch that tomorrow. And I think that that really helped, setting limits on how much of the bad could kind of come in. Because once you're at home and you're in your little bubble, once you're at home, like, doesn't matter how much is of the other stuff. It does, but, you know, not directly to my life. It's like watching the news, and when bad things happen somewhere, like, we like to have the information, but it might not directly be important to our lives. Like, it's important, but also it might not help our lives at this current time, like, to know this. Sometimes knowledge isn't power. Like, so yeah, I've definitely focused on the things that I could do and the things that I have adopted. And that definitely helped get me into a better state of mind. And while I haven't done a ton of scrapbooking, I've enjoyed the scrapbooking that I've done. And I've really enjoyed the connections that I've made with people as we've done this. And I think, if anything, this has just made me more comfortable in getting onto videos and doing stuff like this with people. So I really think that that has been a benefit, right? Like, we've brought more of this into our ScrapHappy community where we have more chat time. Like, this is a little bit less because this is like pretty Alice centered here for the scrapbook lives as I do my scrapbook pages. But I think that as we've brought in new sessions, like our ScrapHappy together sessions, which is more casual and everybody's just sharing. We don't record them, which makes it a little bit less like stressful too. And I think that as we bring more of that in, but I noticed that I'm more likely to like FaceTime my kid or FaceTime my friend or use these kind of different tools than I was before. And if anything, that is just amazing, because we went from talking to our friends on the phone, right? Like, that was how I grew up. If you're younger than me, maybe you don't relate to this. Maybe you didn't spend all day on the phone talking to your friends after you spent all day at school with them, or all evening talking to your friends after being at school. But that's what you did. You get on the phone and you're on with your friends. And if somebody has that ability to conference people in, then, you know, they started the conversations and hooked everybody else up. So that was great. But we went from that to texting. And texting, I think, is great for sending information to somebody that they can receive on their own time. That's what I think texting is brilliant for. If I send you a message and eventually you will read it and you'll say, okay, and I know that you've got it, fantastic. But texting is not a great way. It's so impersonal. And so having this video chat become more and more part of my life has been fantastic. And it just feels more and more natural now. So we've kind of gone from that extreme of the phone to like the super impersonal, just texting, to now actually being face to face with our friends. And if it's, you know, not in person, it's the best we can do right now. I'm sure loving it. Carla says, Alice, all of this online is new to me, like Zoom as a result of the pandemic. I just made a Facebook this spring for the first time. I have a question about Load Event. Where do we post our completed layouts when participating in Load? So as part of the ScrapHappy family, this next Load, it is called The Royalty, which is super fun. And we are going to be inspired by stories from royal family or royal families or things related to them, and super fun. And what we're going to be doing, I believe we're going to be, I'll be chatting with everybody, but I think we're going to be posting them in our new membership community. We have to kind of make the call if this is a good fit for us. So I'm hoping to do a live session, maybe Sunday night, with the people that are testing it. If it doesn't work for people, you can totally send me your thoughts, your feelings, and stuff if you're testing our new community. And what we're going to do then is be able to share right where the prompts are, which is a cool thing, right? It's like something we haven't been able to do. And everything is actually super organized in Circle, which I really appreciate, because we don't have that at all in Facebook. Like, organization is not a great thing with Facebook. So yeah, it's it's really cool because we'll be able to share and kind of see things in one spot. Yeah, Rhonda says, Alice, that's a great perspective. I got caught in the texting trap. I missed voice connection with people, and now we get picture and voice. So I think, you know, it's definitely a sign of things. And if you're not using video to video chat with somebody, and if you have an iPhone, FaceTime, if you have them on Facebook as a friend, that video chat in your messenger works pretty darn good. Yeah, like those are great ways. If you want to talk to somebody, it's super fun to kind of just get on there. You see them, you kind of see part of their life and just hearing their voice, right? We try with emojis to add emotion to our typing, but it just doesn't do the same thing. Yeah, Deidre says video chat is fantastic. She would know. We do it all the time. It's like, do you have time to chat? And she knows when I say chat, it means like you have time to hop on a video with me. So yeah, super fun. And yeah, I think it's been good. Okay, well, that's like my whole life things, I guess. We kind of, it was scrapbooking related, right? We went there. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me for this session today for a Scrapbook Live. I love the chance to hang out with everyone. I am so excited about this page that I made with my Flavors of the Month kit from the ScrapRoom. That is super fun. If you haven't seen, this is the page that I'm sharing on my YouTube channel right now. It's part of this back to school blog hop, and it's what does your school look like to you? That was kind of the focus. And so I was really happy that Sarah had worded the blog hop in this way, because for me, that kind of let me jump in, because if it was just about back to school, maybe that wouldn't apply. But what does school look like to you really fit into my life, because I am a lifelong learner. So yeah, I know. Kathy says the time goes by so quickly. Thank you for spending time with us today. So if you liked this, then because you're here, I know that you're on my email list. So you will also get a notification for next week. I'm resurrecting, I'm bringing it back, the Happy at Home sessions. We did a series of these in the spring. April, we did 5 days a week. May, we did 2 days a week. Bringing it back for September, just twice, but I'm trying. And those are going to be on YouTube. So they're scrappy chats with a specific topic in mind, and we kind of dig into it. Sometimes I get a little experimentative, is that the right word? Anyways, I play with some products sometimes, and we check things out, try new things, and super fun. So I'm doing that on Wednesday the 16th and Wednesday the 30th, and they will be at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So that's on YouTube. So you just have to make sure you follow my YouTube channel. It's called ScrapHappy. And if you subscribe, you can probably pop over and check out this layout. And then you can also catch me for that thing. If you hit the notification bell, you'll actually get a notification that tells you when I'm going live on that event next week. So that's really cool. So yeah, lots of fun stuff. And I have a new toy that will help me switch between the screens. I do really fun things on the live, like camera wise, and little pop-ups, and super fun. So what is on Monday, says Mary? Yeah, so we have a new session that is starting within our ScrapHappy family. Monday is going to be the reveal of this new session. And I'm not giving too many sneak peeks. It's just something new that we're adding, and you will learn something new. There's like a little hint. But Monday is going to be at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to debut it, and it will be available as replay and separately as well. So that is the new thing for Monday on the 14th. And that one is just for members. So if you're not a ScrapHappy member and you're like, what are all these fun things you're doing? You are very welcome to come and check us out. You can find us at scraphappy.org, and there's a little join or find out more button right near the top. Super fun. If you were part of the Scrap Smarter experience, I forgot to do this actually. I will send you an email with a reminder that you have a lovely coupon for joining the membership because you're a part of the Scrap Smarter experience. So I will send that email. Anyways, that is what's happening. Thank you so much for joining me for this. I hope that I will see you at some of our upcoming events, whether they are part of the ScrapHappy membership or external to that. Yeah, lots of good things coming and lots of fun scrapbooking to do. And if you make a page that you made from today, can you put it on, or if you're sharing on Instagram, if you're an Instagram share, at me on it. It's at Alice Bowl. That would be super fun. And you can hashtag ScrapHappy or Scrapbook Live. I follow all of those so that I can see your stuff. And I'd love to see it. Okay, I better run. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and happy scrapping, everyone.